a sunny and cold Thursday morning in Northeast Ohio. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back into the Bullpen with Bull and Fox on this Thursday morning. Dustin, how you doing? What's going on? Back from the trip, back from the cruise. How you doing this morning?
Back from the cruise, yeah. This weather sucks, man. I know it's going to be like 50 this week or today or tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but dude, I was in the Caribbean for 7 days. I mean, it was like 80 and sunny every single day.
Well, we can't have sympathy for you because we've been suffering while you've been away.
I mean, listen, I don't feel bad for you. I mean, you've been gallivanting ever. What are you talking about, dude? You were just in the Caribbean like a minute ago.
First of all, that was in early November, and
it was like yesterday.
My trip was so awful that we came back early.
Did you have another like tropical vacation recently?
No, man. No, I have not gone away this winter since the few days I was gone in early November. I have not gone anywhere. Listen, I'm very lucky in my life. I'm not complaining, but the weather stinks. It's terrible, but it is what it is. But the older you get, the more I complain. The more it bothers you when you get older. I understand why old people go to Florida and Arizona. I get it because it's when you're young, it's not a big deal. But the older you get, the less you can take it, and the winter just seems to never end.
It's funny. So like my wife, she grew up in Florida, but we live here now.
Yeah.
And we got back from the trip, and she's like, I think you're rubbing off on me, because she's fine with the cold, whatever. But like we got back, and last night when we got to Hopkins and just stepping outside for the first time, it was like she's like, honey, I mean, why do we live here? I'm like, I don't know, honey. I mean, let's get these kids through school, and then we can figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, it was last night. It was I just walked out to throw the garbage in the can.
Yeah,
and it was so windy and so cold. I'm like, oh, I'm cursing and whatever. But let's stop whining about the weather because there's plenty to talk about. Coming up later, one of the Guardians' young players dealing with something, an injury with the Cavs as they lost yesterday. But we begin with the Combine. Yesterday I spoke to Zach Jackson from the Combine, and yesterday Todd Monken spoke at the Combine day after Andrew Berry did. And unlike Andrew Berry, Todd Monken is a little more forthcoming with his words. Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski both were masters at using a lot of words but not saying anything. Todd Monken gives you a little more meat on the bone, and let's start, of course, with the quarterback comments he made. Monken did have very complimentary things to say about Shedeur Sanders, including a quote where he said, Shedeur has elite playmaking ability. But when asked about the quarterback competition or who would be the starting quarterback, he did say, ideally, I'd like to have a quarterback one heading into training camp. But he said, as of now, that's not the case. In fact, he said, when asked about the starting job, he said it's wide open. There'll be a competition. I don't think there's enough on film over the last couple of years to say we have a starter. So, again, now, listen, who knows? In these press conferences, you never know how honest these guys are being, even though he seems more honest than some other guys in this situation. So, while he was complimentary of Shedeur Sanders, no doubt, he also said that there will definitely be a competition. Nobody's the proven starter yet. Are you buying what he's saying? You think he's being honest there?
Yeah, I am. I mean, number one,
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we when he says that, no one's like, oh, I mean, no one's literally looking around thinking, yeah, we definitively have the starting quarterback on the roster. No, I mean, unless you're just a Shedeur crazy, then we just can't talk. We can't have a conversation. Shedeur might be the starting quarterback, but he hasn't certainly earned it yet. And yeah, there's going to be a competition. I think that is a legitimate conversation. I mean, the Watson side of things is very fascinating to me because I just didn't ever think he'd be a starting quarterback for the Browns ever again. And we have a new head coach who doesn't care about the past. He wants to find out who can run his offense to the highest clip that he can. And it's going to be a wide open competition for these guys. And I'm sure that there's going to be someone else that's not here right now in that mix.
Yeah. Yesterday, I said that if they brought in a guy to compete then probably I think we all assume Dylan Gabriel is the guy that's going to be gone if they bring it. But I said yesterday that if they did go and sign Malik Willis for a lot of money, or they drafted Ty Simpson in the first round, I think in that case, it would be more likely that Shedeur Sanders would be gone because those guys would be the presumed starter. I think then you'd be more likely to keep Gabriel, who's more of a backup, where Shedeur Sanders could still be. And that may be unfair to Dylan Gabriel. In my mind, Shedeur Sanders is still possibly a starter in the NFL. We haven't seen enough. We haven't seen enough of Dylan Gabriel either, but I'm personally convinced he's only a backup. That may not be fair. I'm certainly not an expert, but that's just how I see it. Do you see it that way, or no? Do you think Dylan Gabriel is a chance he could be a starter too?
No, I don't see Gabriel as. I mean, he's saying the right things, but I just don't see him looking at Dylan Gabriel and thinking, yeah, this guy can run a similar style offense that we had in Baltimore,
right?
And what I want to run here in Cleveland. In fact, I think if anything, you can read more into what he said about Shedeur and think that he likes Shedeur the most.
Yeah, sure.
He said elite playmaker ability.
Yeah.
He's excited to get started with him. So that's something right there. You know what I mean? So he's talking about traits. He's talking about, being able to develop this young player. So
yeah,
I think that Sanders is probably more likely than not going to be the starting quarterback for Todd Monken this year.
Yeah.
There will be a competition. There's no doubt about that. I mean,
Yeah.
He's not an idiot. He wants to put the best player on the field, and you don't just give somebody the job that they have not earned. But I do think that if you're Todd Monken outside looking in and just watching some of the film and looking at who you have, that Shedeur probably gives him the best chance to run the offense that he would like.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying about Deshaun Watson, and I do think it's possible that Todd Monken's like, you know what? I don't care what he did in the past. I can get the best out of him. But more likely, he's not going to be the starter. I'd be very surprised if he was. I think I think Shedeur Sanders is, yes, very likely the starting quarterback for the Browns this year. I think the only way he's not is if they sign Malik Willis or they surprise us and draft a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's nothing he said that ties him to Watson or also says that he's not interested in Watson. He played it perfectly down the middle.
Right.
Like you got to be careful because, Watson's uncuttable this year. We know that. He's going to be on the roster. He's going to be in meetings. He's going to be at practice. Like, you don't want to have any sort of locker room divide. You want to say the right things in the media. You don't want to, like, the media smell blood in the water. Like, if they get one little something, like, they're going to just dig in on it and try to press him on it. And I thought he did a good job of kind of distancing himself from Watson, but also like kind of keeping the door open. He's playing both sides. Essentially, as a new head coach who's coming in here who doesn't really know much about this locker room yet.
Yeah, and I don't know. You wonder. I doubt it, but you wonder if Jimmy Haslam has said to him, "Hey, Deshaun Watson can't be the starter." I think that would be wrong to do, but I wonder if that's a possibility. I don't know that would make a lot of sense. I mean, if Deshaun Watson were the starter and he played decently, then you're in it. Like, what have you accomplished? You're not going to re-sign Deshaun Watson after this whole debacle.
I think we'll know rather quickly, Adam, once we get to training camp and get into some of these sessions, practice sessions, where we can see who's playing with the ones and twos and how much of an opportunity is Deshaun Watson given. If he's not given much of an opportunity to be with the ones, then I think what you just said about Jimmy Haslam's, maybe behind the scenes pulling some strings, could be true. At this point, there's no way to say that that's accurate or not. We have no idea what Jimmy Haslam's thinking. I'm sure Jimmy Haslam just wants to win as bad as everybody else.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he certainly does. He goes about it
right.
Yeah, I mean, he goes about it the wrong way most of the time, but he does want to win. I don't think anybody's debating that when it comes to Jimmy Haslam. A couple other things over the last couple of days that we learned between Andrew Berry and Todd Monken. It looks like that Quinshon Judkins is, who had the broken leg, is going to be good to go by training camp. May even be ready for some of the off-season work. And Luke Whippler, who is the perceived starting center, who got injured in the last game of the season, also is going to be ready to go for the start of training camp. We know that the Browns have to redo the entire offensive line but Whippler seemed like the one thing you were like, okay, he was okay last year. We know he's going to be the starting center, but then he got hurt. So that's good news that he and Judkins are both going to be ready to go for the start of training camp at least.
Yeah, no doubt. I was worried about that. And we saw such great things from Quinshon last year.
Yeah.
That you're just praying this guy could come back. We don't need to be talking about drafting another running back. I know there's a lot of good running backs in this draft, but like Quinshon, I mean, I think that guy can be a bell cow here for the Browns.
Absolutely.
Certainly, after having Nick Chubb in this offense for so many years, it was like, okay, it was okay, at least in our minds. We're like, okay, we can let Nick go because we got this guy.
Yeah, right.
And then he gets hurt, and oh my God, you're freaking out. And now that's good news. Absolutely.
And it'll be the interesting question. One of the interesting things, with so much to do on the offensive line is, can DeJuan Jones stay healthy? I just wonder. I just don't think you can count on DeJuan Jones. I don't think you could pencil him in as a starter going into the season. I mean, he's just missed so much time in his first 3 years. I don't think you can count on it. Certainly not at left tackle. I think they got to move him back to right tackle, and if he wins a starting job, then maybe so. But I think you've got to. I think the Browns have to plan as if he's not available or not a starter.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, how many years has DeJuan been here? This is going to be his fourth year or third year? Mm-hmm. This is year 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, year 4, I think.
Year 4?
Well, let me double check that. Now I'm not sure.
I just feel like every year it's the great big unknown. Like, which DeJuan Jones are we going to get? Is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be ready to go? Do we got to move him from left to right? I mean, what? I don't know.
It's year 4. This will be year 4. He's played. He's started 20 games in 3 years. He's played in 24 and started 20 out of a possible 51 games. That's a significant amount of time that he's missed. And that's a concern when it comes to him and
no question
and relying on him, which is just not reasonable. One other thing we got out of the press conference from the Browns, Mary Kay had reported that it looked like JOK's career was probably over. Then he put that picture up on Instagram, like about what's the news, and it made you think, okay, maybe she's got it wrong. But then Andrew Berry basically confirmed that that's the case, that it's a long shot. He's looking. I think he's still hopeful. Obviously, he wants to play, but it looks like his career is probably over, which is a shame. I mean, he seems like. I don't know him personally. I hate to see people are great guys when I don't know they're great guys, but he seems like a great guy. He had become a great player. He really put it all together. It's a shame that he's had this injury that's probably ended his career.
I mean, it's one of the sadder stories in the league.
Yeah.
JOK, great player, great upside. He has that collision with Derrick Henry. That's where he got hurt, right? 24.
Yep.
And probably it sounds like he's not going to play football again. And, that sucks, from like a fan perspective and from his perspective, what it is. But if you can't mess around with life and death, man, in this sport.
Yeah.
And the head, neck, like, it's just not worth it, man. Like, it's not. It's a great sport. We love it. We love it when things are, good and players are healthy and we can do it. But like, I feel bad for JOK. You're right. He does sound like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody in the locker room loves him. I just don't understand. I mean, why did he tweet back at Mary Kay? Like,
that was weird.
Me or something. Because even Andrew Berry said the words, not optimistic, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. If I'm JOK, I I don't know, stay out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he probably in his mind, he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to give up.
Here's the thing. And let me just clarify. Because I do understand one thing from his perspective. Like, you want to do things in your time. Like, if he's not going to play football again, you don't want someone else reporting that for you. Like, you want to control the narrative here. This is your career. This is probably all you know in a lot of ways, in terms of like, you've been playing football since you were a kid and in high school, at least, then you go to college, then you get to the league. It's a dream. And then your dream's going to come to an end because of this. I'm sure he probably just wants it to not be a tweet. That says I'm done.
It's a great point. You don't want to hear, like, obviously he knows.
I'm the one that says I'm done when I'm done.
Right. You don't want to see somebody else reporting that your career is over when, you're hopeful it's not, even if you know realistically it probably is.
Yeah. I just spitballed.
That's a good point.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's a good point by you. Let's get some comments from the fans. A lot of Bull and Fox emojis saying good morning from last call. Chairman of the board, Ohio one dog. Thank you. Brown 7350. This is the worst winter I can ever recall in Ohio. I'm 36. It has been bad. Z says next trip Paris for the Browns game. That would be fun to go, that one. Go to Paris. I've never been there. Mr. Chairman of the board, the Cavs. We'll get to the Cavs. We'll leave that there. He says, I'm 51 and I still remember the blizzard of 78. That was wicked to say the least. I was 7 and not living here, so I don't remember it. Dustin wasn't born yet, so he doesn't remember it. The Real Night King. He sent the message yesterday. Who would be y'all dream targets in the NFL draft? Do you have a dream target in this NFL draft?
I don't know. I guess I probably should dive into this. The combine's going on right now. Like I know guys that I like or whatever, but I want to watch a little bit more and really get into this and because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know the Browns are probably going to end up drafting a bunch of linemen. So in terms of like dream scenario, I mean, I don't know. What's the latest, by the way, with our boy Tyson, the receiver? Is he performing at the combine?
I don't know.
Injury, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't heard anything about that, but I do know. Yeah, I mean, listen, the most exciting players around the spot the Browns are drafting are the defensive players, and I just don't think they're going to do that. Like all 3 of those defensive players from Ohio State are all really exciting players that could be big difference makers, but I'd in the end be shocked if the Browns do that. I think Carnell Tate. I wonder, does it factor in that's the Buckeye wide receivers all seem to play well in the league? I mean, there's who's the exception? I mean, everyone that comes into the league seems to have at least some level of success.
I mean, obviously, my one of my dreams would be for them to be able to get Caleb Downs if they're going defense.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I think he's got a chance to be just a special player in the league. I mean, I got a chance to know him last year on the cruise for a few days and talk to him. Like he just seems like such a bright young man that has got his head squarely on his shoulders. I mean, he's a smart kid. He's got it together, dude. He really does. And he's a great player.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's one of the most important things. But even beyond that, like he's such a great teammate. And the Browns need good, high character guys that are elite on the field.
I'd be shocked if they went defense with all their needs on offense, but you never know. I'm hoping Caleb Downs honestly ends up on the Bengals. I think he'd be a game changer for them in their secondary. Asante says, LOL, why would Ty Simpson or Malik Willis be the presumed starters next year? Well, because if you draft Ty Simpson in the first round, or if you paid Malik Willis $30+ million a year, I think it's pretty reasonable that they'd be the presumed starter. No? If you were that
Simpson in the first round, and start Shador over him, that just would be very, very odd, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's it. In the end, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, he is the presumed starter in every case. You know, unless it's a situation like with Aaron Rodgers or with Brett Favre, where there's already a proven starter there, and you're just they're at the end of their careers. That's not the case here.
Correct. The Browns don't have a quarterback. So if they draft a quarterback in the first round, they're drafting a quarterback in the first round because they believe that's the future.
Right. Now, I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, and I don't think they're going to sign Malik Willis. And if they don't do either of those things, then I'm going to presume that Shador Sanders is the starter. But if they did one of the same thing, Dustin, if you spent $30 million a year on Malik Willis, he's the starter. They believe he's the starter. You wouldn't pay a guy $30 million and you're going to compete with Shador Sanders. It's just not happening. Now, maybe that you want to say that's unfair, but that's just the reality of the situation. Even though Malik Willis isn't any more proven than Shador Sanders, you don't pay a guy that money unless you're confident he's a starting quarterback.
Correct.
Let's see. Chris J., the Browns probably will bring in another quarterback in either the draft or free agency. I don't think anybody on this team is the answer. Mr. Chairman of the board, we the people who are fans of the Cleveland Browns need someone to get the best of these idiots. best out of these idiots. Jimmy and Dee Haslam, who unfortunately own our Cleveland Browns, the ownership has been abhorrent. It has. I'm waiting for the rumors to start with Kirk Cousins coming to the Browns after the Falcons cut him. I don't think that's going to... I'd be surprised if he ends up here. Jared...
I think whoever they take at 6, Bull, is more I think about it. It's got to be it's got to be a player that, like a foundational player for Todd Monken. Like a guy that, I know we use the word, it's a cliche, but like a can't miss guy. But doesn't that feel like someone like a Caleb Downs or I'm trying to think of another, high end player that is going to, like, maybe Carnell Tate. I don't know. If he's there, because that would be your X receiver that you're missing, your true number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
That would give Monken the ability to have that vertical isolation threat on the outside. We don't have that right now. I think that would be huge.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, this is...
They're an hour and a half down the road. Like, you should... Anybody at Ohio State that's good, the Browns should be like all in on those guys. You should know every little nook and cranny detail about that.
Right. All right, before we switch it up to the Cavs, let me tell you this. I've got a great deal for you once again. The Cavs are battling for home court in the East. The Bet Rivers has given you a bonus bet to use on the Cavs in this stretch run. Now through March the 15th, go to your Bet Rivers app in Ohio and use the code ATB223 to get a $10 bonus bet. That code again is ATB223. But you got to, if you don't have the Bet Rivers app, you're missing out. Make sure you download it. It's available only in Ohio, must be 21. Make sure you use the code ATB223. Eligible players only. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Cavs were without their three best players last night. James Harden dealing with the broken thumb, the tip of his thumb. He's got a broken bone there. And he's going to play through it, but he's going to miss a couple of games. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley also did not play last night. And the Cavs lose to the Bucks, who were without Giannis, of course. 118-116 is the final. Dennis Schroeder did have a big game for the Cavs in this one. He had 26 points and 5 assists. Jared Allen had 27 and 11. Looked like he had tied the game at the buzzer, but they said it was after the game, the clock had expired. Otherwise, he probably, if it went into overtime, he would have had a 30-plus point game. But 27 and 11 for Jared Allen. Sam Merrill, Jalen Tyson, Keon Ellis had 14 points apiece. Tyson with a double-double, 14 and 10 rebounds.
Last night, one of the biggest issues. I mean, they missed some key free throws.
Yeah,
I was happy that Jared Allen played great.
Yeah,
because I mean, he was really the only all-star caliber player that was out there last night. You didn't have Donovan, no Harden, no Mobley. Like, so you nearly stole the game, at the last second. I mean, I know Allen nearly tied it up.
Yeah.
At the end, couldn't get it done. It's okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Dennis Schroeder showed up. You said it, Bull. I mean, 26 points last night, played aggressive on offense. I mean, he was a creator and also a scorer last night, which is nice.
Yeah. Sam Merrill, weird game for him. He didn't shoot the three well. He was 2 for 8, and he missed both his free throws. This guy's like almost a 90% free throw shooter in his career. I know he's at like 80-something% this year, but he's money. And you mentioned the free throws. He missed both his free throws. Dean Wade, 22 minutes for Dean Wade. He had no points. After playing a great game the night before, obviously, he played great against the Knicks. But all right, you throw this one away because you're without 3 of your best guys. And how concerned are you about the Harden thumb situation? It's on his non-shooting hand, but he's going to have to play through pain. He's not going to have surgery till after the season. What's your thoughts on this? How big a deal is it?
I mean, I think it's a very big deal. Very big deal. I know it's his non-shooting hand.
Yeah.
They're saying he does have to have surgery at the end of the season. Is that you just said that? Is that for sure? I mean, you may just I'm not sure if you heard that.
He said he was going to have surgery after the season. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then clearly it's something he's going to have to play through.
Yeah.
I know it's his non-shooting hand. Okay, shooting hand here, non-shooting hand. I don't know about you, Bull, but how do you play defense?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
true.
there's a lot of contact. If one one of these guys,
Yeah.
I mean, that's who knows, dude. I mean, that is very concerning. And
Yeah.
the Cavs have had the worst luck with these injuries, man. Like, at some point, can we catch a break? You said it yesterday in our group chat. It's like, I know we don't know yet if it's
Yeah.
going to be like this long-term deal that's going to be a nagging thing, but I don't know. I'm very concerned about it because the Cavs always have these injury issues and they
Yeah.
seem to be snake bitten.
It's what sucks is that like Harden's a guy who never gets hurt. That was one of the things when you traded for him is like, oh, Darius is always hurt and Harden never gets hurt. And then Harden gets hurt. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I there's no way to say right now how big a factor it's going to be. But it stinks that it's something that's going to be at least somewhat of a factor the rest of the season.
I mean, it's his thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing basketball. I know it's
Yeah.
your non-shooting hand, so
Right.
that's great. But there are times where he's going to have to play defense.
Right.
You do dribble with your left hand.
Yeah.
Right? You do
Yeah. No.
with your left hand. Like, there's a lot of stuff you do with that left hand.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of his game is not scoring; it is passing.
Right.
And he has played some decent defense at the end of games, and we're going to need him to be able to do that. So
yeah.
I'm very concerned. Yes.
Yeah. There's no doubt it's a concern. I'm also concerned. This is disappointing to hear. You know, Stephen Kwan, they moved him to center field. He played in center field yesterday, which was great. Part of the reason you're doing that is because you want Chase DeLauder to be able to play in the corner outfield spot. The Guardians' best prospect came up for the postseason last year. He has missed. He's basically played 1 year of baseball the last 3 years due to injuries. He's missed so much time. And yesterday he gets scratched from the lineup due to lower body soreness, and it just seems to be one thing after another with him. If the Guardians are going to surprise us and have a better offense than we expect, or at least than I expect, Chase DeLauder needs to be a big part of it. So the fact that he got scratched, and again, it might be just a minor thing. He might be totally fine. He could be back in the lineup today. But just because of his long list of injuries in the minor leagues, this has me nervous because they're relying on a lot of young players. Rhys Hoskins signing, which I liked last week, is the only veteran they've brought into this team. They're relying on a lot of young players, and outside of Kyle Manzardo, they're relying on Chase DeLauder more than any of the other young players. And so this is something to keep an eye on. They're going to be very careful with him, and you just hope that this doesn't lead to something worse or lead them to, start him in the minors, which would be obviously a big disappointment. But we'll wait and see. Travis Pisano off to a good start in spring training. I think he's got to be in the big leagues at some point this year. DeLauder and Pisano are the two best prospects. They need these guys in the lineup every day. They got to stay healthy, and they got to be in the big leagues. And for the Guardians to have a shot to have a good enough lineup to not only make the postseason, but maybe do something in the postseason. The Tigers have improved. They added Framber Valdez to what was already a good rotation. So their 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation is probably the best in baseball. And, the Royals are still solid. The White Sox are getting better. So the Twins stink. But anyway, that's the story. Folks, we will be back next week, Tuesday and Thursday, live at 9 a.m. And we appreciate everybody joining us today. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You see the code for the bonus bet on the bottom of the screen. Get that done in the next 2 weeks. Thanks to Levi and Alex for producing today. And thanks to all of you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here with Bull and Fox in the Bullpen. See you, everybody.